Welcome to Truth and Leaf.
Hi, my name is Taquito.
My name is Natasha.
And hi. Today we will be talking about the various fine arts education issues that are going on in our nation right now.
Before that, how are you doing today, Taquito?
Well, Natasha, I have this weird rash on my arm, but we can just talk about that later.
Let's do that.
But anyway,
in recent years, drastic changes have been made to the fine arts programs across the United States.
Also, studies show that at-risk students rely the most on fine arts education in public schools to make the link between the classroom and the real world.
So what do you think about the fine arts education in schools?
Well, as a parent of 2 kids in elementary school, I think that fine arts education is really important. I myself grew up in choir and in orchestra, and I just really enjoyed being able to learn an instrument and learn how to sing, and I enjoyed being in music classes every day. Fortunately, my kids still, we live in an independent school district that allows those programs to continue, and while there have been a lot of budget cuts and a lot of bad things happening in the economy, we are fortunate enough to still have those programs in existence in my kids' schools. So they're still participating in choir, they're still participating in all their favorite activities. They still have a music teacher that teaches at their school and not at 5 other schools, and spreading their time among however many students and taking away from the quality of that education. So I just really appreciate, that fine arts is still important to the administrators in our school district. I think it's really important that kids learn how to be able to read music and just have an appreciation for music in this culture and in other cultures.
Thank you so much. This has been a parent interview with Sydney Johnson, parent of 2. You kind of look like our weather girl, Stormy Clear Weather.
Really? I hear that all the time, but I just don't see the resemblance. I don't even really wear glasses. These are fake.
Oh my god.
I know.
moving on to the next part after that wonderful interview.
It's a great interview.
There is a specific group of people that this is affecting. In that case, for example, one of those groups is the children of America. More than 95% of school-age children are attending schools that have a cut funding since the recession. Schools in wealthier neighborhoods that faced budget cuts were able to make up for their losses through private donations, while schools in impoverished neighborhoods have not.
As a result, schools in areas serving children from low-income families have reduced or completely cut their programs from their schools. All of this actually hurts the students because research has shown that arts education helps improve standardized test scores.
Not hurt them, it helps them.
Exactly.
Music is life.
Music is love.
Music is bae.
In May of 2011, there was a 1.9% pay cut for teachers and other educators, which led to many different cuts in the fine arts departments across the United States.
You see, and also what happened, well, really the cuts that were mainly made to low-income neighborhoods and low-income schools that weren't able to afford these kinds of programs. And so the first unnecessary programs, what they thought was unnecessary, and they would cut mainly fine arts programs, which would get rid of music, theater, visual art, and dance.
Dance, yes. Because all of these programs aren't on standardized tests, and they're not considered core curriculum, so they were put on the back burner.
How unfortunate.
But in a recent poll, 93% of Americans agree that arts are vital to providing a well-rounded education for their children. 79% of those Americans believe that fine arts education is so important that they would get personally involved in increasing the amount and quality of arts education. Yeah. The No Child Left Behind Act clearly mandates the arts as a core academic subject. The Burton study of more than 2,000 children found that those in arts curriculum were far superior in creative thinking, self-concept, problem-solving, self-expression, risk-taking, and cooperation than those who weren't. Arts and music education programs are mandatory in my God.
Arts and music education programs are mandatory in countries that rank consistently among the highest for math and science test scores, like Japan, Hungary, and the Netherlands.
The fine arts also provide learners with non-academic benefits, such as promoting self-expression, motivation, aesthetic awareness, culture exposure, creativity, improved emotional expression, as well as social harmony and appreciation of diversity.
And honestly, that's what is the most important thing in this world. ACU, all the way.
Now, not only does it affect the students, but it also affects the teachers and the classroom instruction.
Yes, it actually affects the teachers a lot. So this recession that has been cutting all the budgets for the schools and cutting out various programs puts music teachers or art teachers even at risk of losing their jobs. Excuse me. And so having these programs makes it possible for teachers to actually have jobs at schools teaching students about the fine arts.
In fact, we have a few future students that we have to interview.
As a student who's currently striving to become a music educator, someone who wants to go into choral conducting or even teaching little kids music classes in elementary school, the prospect is kind of scary once I graduate. All the budget cuts have just really made music kind of a back burner activity. And that means that there aren't that many jobs available like there used to be, and the jobs that are available are super competitive, and it's just in general kind of scary thinking that I'm going into a profession that isn't really valued by a lot of people, and a profession that is really difficult to get a job in. I mean, people say, if you're good enough, it'll work out, it'll be fine. But the reality is that our jobs are not seen as important by just so many people, just because it's not tested on in schools. It's not seen as an important life subject, when in reality, music ties into so many other things that children are learning in school. Math and music correlate in a lot of ways, and there have been a lot of research and studies done that show that kids who are strong in math are strong in music and vice versa.
It's scary knowing that there's a good possibility that you could be struggling for a job. But at the same time, my mom is a teacher, and she's been telling me about all these openings for choir teachers in her district. And she's like, hey, hurry up and graduate so you can come work in my district.
Any fine art is beneficial for any student, and for all the different statistics that are out there, the stronger the fine arts programs are at a school, the lower the dropout rate. I feel like college is like a transition period where we kind of learn to deal with these problems, or more about them, or more in depth, where we actually have to do research, and we actually have to learn about how we can work to advocate to keep our fine arts programs in our schools, because they're actually very beneficial.
Thinking that there's a good possibility that there won't be a job waiting for you. And I've heard horror stories about people who graduate with high honors and just have amazing grades that can't find a job because there are no jobs.
And it really makes it difficult once you are a teacher and you manage to get a job, just to have the resources to do your job well with budget. Still have a program, but budget cuts, your resources are cut. You can't do as many activities, you can't go on as many trips, or plan as many events, because you're just limited by monetary resources.
I've been doing music for as long as I can remember, but I can't imagine my life not doing it. And so it is scary, coming in and thinking, oh my goodness, these budget cuts, the recessions, these economical, political issues that we're having to face. But also the reality of it is I can't go one day without sharing, this benefit with others.
And I know personally, it took a while for my parents to get on board with me being a music educator, because you won't get a job doing that, or that's not a real job.
You can still make a difference as a music teacher. Not only that, but better their lives.
You know, it's hard, but it's a very rewarding thing. I haven't actually, gone out and taught yet, but I've heard that it is extremely rewarding regardless of what you teach. Teaching is one of the most difficult and rewarding professions out there.
So I just think that it's really important to remember that while some people may think it's frivolous, it's really not, and it really matters to students and to teachers. And cutbacks hurt teachers just as much as it hurts the students because they're not able to do their job well.
Troll.
There's one way, in fact, to handle this issue, and that is voting. You can vote for a candidate in the next election who promotes art education.
And there are so many fine arts education activists that are out there doing something to keep our programs going because it's very important.
Now to stormy clear weather with the weather.
Thanks, Natasha. I'm here at the Williams Performing Arts Center at ACU. We've seen a little bit of snow earlier this week, but not enough to really mess things up too bad. And today's weather, a nice, balmy, freezing cold. More of that to come this week. Back to you, Natasha.
Triple E Network.
Welcome. Today on the news we will be talking about...
You forgot to say who you were.
Oh, hi.
Let's try this time. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Taquito. Good morning.
Welcome.
Sorry. Okay.
Some background information on that we have gathered is, for example, 93% of the people
is in 2001. That's not the right date. 9% pay cut for teachers and other educators. We're having a little off-camera quarter dispute. That's a lot of change. Look at how good this sign looks.
So,
I worked hard on it.
On this general issue that we are facing and how it affects the children of our generation.
Okay.
This is not only affecting moving.
Okay. Go ahead. Wait, it's focusing. Hold on. Focus. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what that's about.